It's always very difficult to put yourself in the shoes of people who have loved ones who are held hostage by terrorists. It's always impossible to try to imagine the anguish that these families of the Gaza hostages are experiencing. I cannot even begin to try to comprehend what they're going through. Last night, Joe Biden painted a very grim vision of America in his so-called farewell address, desperately trying to take credit for the potential ceasefire. There's still, look, until those hostages are home, there's a lot of work to be done, but it seems that there is reason for cautious optimism that there's going to be a ceasefire and the hostages are finally going to come home. Last night I was talking to the team about who would be great to get an Israeli perspective on what's happening over there, and Yeal Eckstein came to mind. And one of the great blessings of my life has been to get to know her and work with the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. You've seen their commercials, I'm sure. You've heard me talk about them, and I so appreciate Yeal and this great organization, rushing supplies, taking care of people in Israel in a way that no other organization can. The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, a coalition of people coming together to bless the Holy Land. So what an honor it is to welcome back the great Yeal Eckstein to the Mike Gallagher Show, who is about to board to go back to Israel, right, Yael?
Yes, good morning. Shalom, and thank you so much for having me, Mike.
Great to have you back. And last time I saw you, we were having lunch at a nice little cafe in we were in Tel Aviv or Jerusalem?
Jerusalem, yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I still have that picture on my desk.
I've got that picture on my desk too. In fact, as funny you should say that. Yael, let's get first of all the reaction of people right now in Israel to this news. I know, there's a lot of trepidation. Bibi is saying, "Look, we're negotiating with terrorists here. They're pulling some last-minute shenanigans." Are people cautiously optimistic too, or are they skeptical? What are the people of Israel saying about this potential deal?
I think the people of Israel and maybe the whole world who cherishes life and values freedom are holding two polar opposite emotions. On one hand, we are waiting with bated breath to see those hostages walk over the border. From the baby Bibas brothers, those beautiful redhead kids, 1-year-old and 3-year-old, who were stolen from their bed over 15 months ago, to see them back in Israel. We don't know if they're dead or alive, but to get closure on that, to bring them home. Just last week, Hamas released a sign of life video of a hostage, a 19-year-old girl named Leary, and she was wearing a dog collar around her neck. Can you imagine her parents seeing that? For 15 months, she's been abused, raped, being treated like a dog. That, on one hand, we need to get these hostages home, and we'll do it at a very, very difficult price because we value life and we look at life as holy and sacred. Every life is worth anything in order to just free them. But on the other hand, when you're freeing terrorists with blood on their hand in order to get back your children, it's a very difficult compromise. We're releasing killers and terrorists, and we know that they go on, Mike, to do terror once again. The head and mastermind of October 7th, Yahya Sinwar, he was in an Israeli jail. He was released in a hostage exchange, and he went on to October 7th. So it's very difficult. But I think the second we will see those hostages' faces, every single person who values life, who cherishes freedom, will be crying tears of joy.
In a couple of days, we're taking the show to Washington, D.C. for the 47th president's inauguration. There's a new sheriff in town. I think Israel's going to be treated a lot differently by the Trump administration than the Biden administration. Of course, I don't want to bring you into the political battles here, but I do want to share with you what the likely incoming Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, said about the way the Trump administration will support Hamas.
I'm a Christian, and I robustly support the state of Israel and its existential defense, and the way America comes alongside them is a great ally.
Thank you. Because another protester, and I think this one was a member of Code Pink, which, by the way, is a Chinese Communist front group these days, said that you support Israel's war in Gaza. I support Israel's existential war in Gaza. I assume, like me and President Trump, you support that war as well, don't you?
Senator, I do. I support Israel destroying and killing every last member of Hamas.
You know, Yael, a lot of people just don't seem to understand the existential threat that Israel continually faces. I've always wondered, how do you negotiate with people who want to obliterate you? You know, Israel doesn't want to kill anybody. Israel wants to be left alone.
Israel is the size of New Jersey with 10 million citizens, and we are being attacked on 7 fronts, all of them sponsored by Iran. And they're on our border. And so we have, of course, Hamas in the Gaza Strip. We have Hezbollah in Lebanon. We're being attacked by Syria. We're being attacked by Iran directly, by, of course, the Houthis in Yemen. It is the grace of God that Israel is still standing right now. But we are in a war for our survival. And so, even after we get the hostages back, God willing, may it be very soon, and may they be in good health, amen. But even after we get them back, we have to make sure exactly what the Trump administration is already saying now. Hamas and other terror groups cannot rearm, and we cannot allow another situation like we saw leading up to October 7th, that Israel is surrounded by Iranian proxies who want to wipe Israel off the map. And then, in a snap of a finger, God forbid, they could do it. So it's very encouraging to see the moral clarity, may I say, of the administration coming in. And I also want to stress that in the previous administration, they have done some incredible things for Israel as well. Israel is America's ally, and we are there to protect American values, to protect American troops that are based in the Middle East. And the threat that Israel is facing right now on Israel's soil is a threat that, if we don't fight it in Israel, it will get to American soil, just like what we saw happen on New Year's Eve, 15 innocent people killed by an ISIS sympathizer. We're fighting this war together, and it is so inspiring, calming, nice to see that the administration realizes that.
Well, nobody brings Christians and Jews together, and frankly, the United States and Israel together better than the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. You are a blessing, and I cannot stress enough how honored and blessed I feel to be a part of advocating for you. I hope everybody goes to ifcj.org because this is an organization that deserves our support. I love this. I love the work you do, Yael. You know that, and your team is second to none. And look, I'm excited. I can't spill the beans yet, but suffice to say, we're working behind the scenes feverishly right now because it's my goal to bring the Mike Gallagher Show back to Israel, back to the Holy Land on the anniversary of the terrorist attacks in October. And I think we're going to have an opportunity to not only be there on behalf of the IFCJ, the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, but also bring a group of listeners with us. And I'm thrilled to tell everybody to keep your heads up on that. So, Yael, more to come. It's great seeing you. I know you had to make some time for us before you board your plane for Israel. Safe travels, shalom, and keep fighting the good fight.
Thank you so much, my friend. And until you get there on October 7th, where you could feed the hungry, clothe the naked, and shelter the poor, we will be there on your behalf, on behalf of millions of Christians and Jews in America who say, I stand with Israel. I'm going to bless Israel and the Jewish people, be the watchman on the walls. And it is our greatest honor at the fellowship to be your voice on the ground. And I can't wait to greet you there.
And you can do it. Everyone can get involved. IFCJ.com, IFCJ.org, IFCJ.org. Thanks, Al. Hey, I know the phrase next year Jerusalem. Maybe this year Jerusalem, okay?
Amen. Can't wait.